Okay, so 2 days ago I turned to Fairy Tail Amino for video suggestions, and the first reply I got, quite possibly the only suggestion unless something surfaces after I recorded this video, and that suggestion was for me to list my top 10 favorite female wizards. So I figured I'd deliver. I mean, I have done top 10 favorite wizards, but that's of course a mixture of males and females. So today I'll be listing only females and 10 of them, and I'll most likely make a separate video on males to balance it out. Another thing to note before we begin is that the results are going to differ from my top 10 favorites because I changed my favorites around quite a bit, so keep that in mind. So whatever females was in that video aren't necessarily going to be in the same order as the ones in this one. Alright, I've talked enough, so let's get started, shall we? At number 10, Melody or Meredy. Okay, so yeah, Melody is definitely one of my favorites, and it's really all about my first impressions of her back at the Tenro Island. I mean, come on, the girl made a damn priority list of all members in Fairy Tail on how badly she wanted them dead, and so, or how badly she wanted the dead or some shit. I mean, who the fuck does that? She's more organized than me, for crying out loud. Alright, let's move on to number 9. Mavis Vermillion. First master of Fairy Tail she may be, but that has nothing to do with her position on this list. I just like Mavis. Well, she's quite far down on this list, but she's at least on it. I mean, that's something, I guess. I've always liked the sort of comedic value of Mavis as a ghost. And that said, I did like her better as a ghost than I do now that she's living. Like, back at the GMG tournament, you know, when she cheats by giving like Kana the fairy glitter to win a round, that sort of shit. What I loved about Ghost Mavis. Okay, next up at number 8, Demaria. Maria. That's right, the lady who controls time in some weird shitstormy way. I mean, I don't even understand that power entirely, but that just adds to her character for me. All I know is that she's got God Takeover, the god of time more specifically, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's like some shit that's passed on to her like inherited magic or something. I don't quite remember, but her personality is like the key here because she's like the nemesis of Brandish or some shit. And you guys know I'm a Brandish guy, so there's no top 10 without Demaria as well. I mean, I can't tell if they were like best friends or enemies within the Spriggan 12 because they treated each other like shit. I mean, like properly shit. But then again, best friends kinda do that. But then again, of course, as of recently, well, it's safe to assume they're not exactly friends anymore. Demaria did like attempt to murder my waifu. Cannot forgive her for that. Number 7, Mira Jane. The eldest sibling of the Strauss family, and with the best takeover of them all too, for that matter. I mean, Mira Jane is not even unlikable. She's just a sweet, kind person, and then she has pops her magic and suddenly, holy shit, you're dead. So yeah, I mean, the fact that she can go from giving you a flower for good behavior to beheading you for not doing the fucking dishes. I mean, I think that's enough said, right? I mean, I'm not into that kind of kinky shit, but still, she's pretty much on my favorite list because of that. At number 6, Kagura. The Gravity Samurai Ninja Lady thing. She may have got her ass handed to her by Larcade, but she fucking owned during the GMG tournament. At least that's my opinion, and that's where her place in this ranking comes from. I mean, like, she pretty much busted Yukino's ass so bad Yukino got kicked out of her guild. I guess Yukino shouldn't have been betting her life, only to be spared because of Kagura's kindness. At number 5, Wendy Marvel. Blue hair, Senpai Fruit's most hated character, well kinda, is number 5 on Sugar Daddy Perm's list because, well, now that I think about it, that sounds so wrong. Why the fuck did I refer to myself as Sugar Daddy when Wendy is up? That's just... Anyway, I like Wendy because she's probably had more progress than anyone apart from, like, you know, Natsu and shit. But he can't be on this list because he's a male. I mean, when she was first introduced, she was the most pitiful butterfuck I have ever seen in Fairy Tail. But now, in Alvarez, if we exclude the fact that Ursa's mom stole her youthful body, she's become a lot stronger and more confident in her abilities. Like, I haven't seen her fall over for a while. I mean, that's a plus. She's also, like, used Dragon Force more times than Natsu has. Don't ask me how that even works, but she has, strangely enough. I can count 4 times on Wendy and about 3 times on Natsu. So that settles that. Number 4, Flare. From yandere to being nice. Flare is a character I really like, despite her not having much development at all, nor has she been around that much. She has clicked for me, you know. Arguably, she was my Fairy Tail wife for like a while. Yeah, don't ask. Well, anyway, let's move on because that's really all there is to it. Number 3, Altair. Altair is like the babe. I mean, there are many babes in Fairy Tail, but Altair is the babe. Not my waifu though. I mean, she was fighting with a ceramic ball. That's not even beatable. I mean, she did technically kick Seraph's ass at one point, even though he was high on tranquilizers, but I think her death is what did it for me. Or well, not death, I guess, her end, if you would call it that. Which ended up only winning them like a minute something. I thought that was like the best screw over in anime history, at least for me. Like sacrificing her life cycle or some shit, only to win everyone about 1 minute or so, which, I mean, it did help a lot at the same time, but it was still pretty fucking bad. Okay, the last 2 remain. Brace yourselves. Number 2, Eileen Belserion. The mother of Ursa, considerably better than Ursa herself. I mean, you'll have noticed Ursa hasn't ended up on this list, and oops, did I just spoil she wasn't number 1? Anyway, Eileen's backstory brought her from possibly being nowhere near this list to being in top 2 because fuck me sideways, I did not see her past coming. She was the original Dragon Slayer who became a dragon only to be turned back to human form by Seraph while still not being human. And then, of course, she went pretty fucking psycho, but let's not talk about that. She also entered Wendy's body in 516, which you know is where we are at right now, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and she held her ground against Acnologia for at least a few moments, arguably more than Gildarch could do. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but we can assume based on his injuries compared to what she suffered, like nothing. Okay, number 1. Brandish. Green hair, capable of shrinking and expanding shit, responsible for triggering E and D to activate within Natsu, had an epic bad scene with Lucy, and I mean, what more is there than that? Oh yeah, she had a sidekick that she like kept in a fucking jar, but more to the point, she is waifu. Her dress code is fucking on point. Bikini, long ass coat, whatever those fucking coats are called, and she even has a chained collar on herself. I mean, she's into some kinky stuff, not gonna lie. And she of course has a personal history with Lucy. Oh, well, not personal history, but their mothers did. Well, I think I just summed Brandish up. I mean, I already explained her situation with Demarius, so no need for that. Let's wrap it up right there. Like, fuck my life, this video is going to be pretty long, hopefully not as long as the last top 5 kind of video. But yeah, I mean, that's my list for top 10 favorite females in Fairy Tail. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I can totally see a lot of where's Ursa and what about Lucy coming. Anyway, as always, if you did, please like this video and subscribe if you're new. Bye.